Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior. Today we're going to do a quick surprise review of these three figures. This is from Todd McFarlane's Platinum Edition 29.99 figures. We have Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. So we're going to start with um, Firestorm. Now, I know if you guys have seen some of my reviews, I've pretty much stated that I was not going to support the way McFarlane is doing these $29.99 figures because I felt like the price is too high. It's basically a figure, one of these stands, one of these cards, and then the circular stand. And maybe like a fire effect like this for Sinestro. I felt like that was too high, but there are something did happen that allowed me to purchase these figures, and we're going to talk about that later. But first, let's talk about the figure. Right, the figure itself comes like so, and I've already packed this stuff, so I'm going to have to unpack it. This is the card that came with the figure, and these are the hands that came with this figure. So let's count them. 1, 2 on the figure itself. 3, 4. That's close fisted. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's 10 hands, guys, for $29.95. Compared to the other two, like Sinestro that comes with an effect, a lantern, and that's it, right? That's it. And then Hawkman comes with, I don't know, wings and mace. Same price, $29.95. But anyway, let's go back to Firestorm. Let's first look at the portrait on this guy. As you know, that's the first thing I'm always looking at these figures. That's basically have the same type of articulation, same type of buck body, right? Because I don't know why it's not focusing as much. There's the head for Firestorm. Really nice features. Nice paint job. There's no sloppiness on my copy. You even see that black shadowing around the eyes, so that's pretty cool. Very heroic features. Right. A very good representation of Firestorm. The only thing that I might want to change in this one is the hairstyle or the fire that's coming off of his head. If it could be like a little bit more bigger, have more flair, have more flames coming out of it, I think that would be really cool. So basically, it's basically the classic Firestorm design, right? It even has a flare up on these shoulder pads and everything. Now McFarlane, we do know that McFarlane does reuse buck bodies, but most of the time, or well, not most of the time, but he's also known for having these new sculpts for the bodies, right? So like this new flare up, that's brand new. The whole chest is brand new. That because everything here is raised. This is not just painted on, right? These are actually raised. Even let's see. Okay, so the sun and the rays of the sun is actually painted, but this whole thing, the straps and this thing right here is painted. This is nice. Some parts might be reused. I don't know which one. I don't pay attention to that much. I do know the trunks is brand new. The legs might be reused on something, but I'm not sure. Look at the pattern that's coming off the boots. It's really nice. I don't know why the pins that they use in this one is black. And that's not gonna come in. This is something that's a new thing, because you're gonna see that in the other two as well. And my shoulders are very kind of are loose. You can see that this one right here, the shoulder thing is very loose on mine as well. I don't know why, but it's still able to hold the pose of whatever I choose. So it's really good to look at, Head articulation goes up that so. Goes down like so, and does have a little, a lot of tilt. I feel like the head might be a little too small for the body, but that's an old trick that they usually do to make the whole thing more heroic looking. Goes up and down. This is soft plastic or rubbery plastic, so it doesn't hinder the articulation at all. You have the bicep swivel, you have double jointed on the elbows, and of course the hands. Look at those hands, right? He sculpted the hands, and with a fire effect. That's like completely brand new, completely for Firestorm only. Unlike Hasbro, that would just have those generic fire effects with different paint or translucency, right? McFarlane does not cheap out when he's choosing not to cheap out. And then let's go back to the articulation. It goes back, wow, way more than you need to. But then for some reason, the forward crunch is almost non-existent, right? It goes all the way, obviously. This again, the trunks are basic, kind of like rubbery plastic, so it maintains the look, but it hinders it a little bit. But you know, at least it gives it that mobility. One of the things I'm noticing, because of the design of the trunks, you can't have this leg go up straight. So when you move it up like that, it does allow for it, but it pivots the leg outward. So you can't. So when you're trying to do a pose like a flying pose like this, you really can't see how it'll do that. But you know, if you've been collecting McFarlane, you know that always happens, right? Double jointed at the knees, up and down on the ankles, and a rocker as well. So, and obviously the new design for the ankle, we've always known. I don't even talk about it anymore, but it's really nice that he did that. Let's see. Now it's the hands are actually very easy to move, as you can see, but it doesn't fall off. It's nice. It's really nice, the balance between the ease of removing it and maintaining its hold on it. So I'm not so sure about this one. I know what it is. It's basically an outstretched hand, and then you have the fire effects going on. I feel like it's not as successful because I think it needs a little bit more yellow, a little bit more orange, to make it more successful. But A for the effort. The fact that we have 10 hands on a $29.99 figure, I feel like that definitely makes the value of the figure higher, rather than the other two, right? So with that in mind, that's it for Firestorm. I really love this figure. I feel like with what we're getting, the value is fair. Could it be better? I mean, okay, I'm gonna say the value is good, right? I just don't want to. It says $29.99 for any foreign figure. It's getting kind of high, because now you're crossing the range of the deluxe figures of Hasbro, and Hasbro's deluxe figures has a lot more stuff, right? They're only just like $5 less than a deluxe price. And when he puts on the title of platinum level, you know, when you put something like that on, then then we have expectations beyond what we're used to McFarlane. You were used to, with McFarlane, we used to the newer bodies that he's putting on. He's not reusing bodies too much. We're used to that. We're used to his articulation. We're used to the paint job that we're getting from McFarlane. We're used to the texture that we get from his figures. So when you put in platinum level outside of the regular line, then we tend to expect more. That's the way it is, right? Especially when you're putting out a Riddler for $19.99 that has 8 hands, and then this is $29.99. That's why I say it's only a fair value, because I'm comparing it to that Riddler figure. So, okay, so now that we've done Firestorm, let's go on to Sinestro. Sinestro, aside from the stand up here again, it does come with this unique power effect. This has only been shown for Sinestro so far. A lantern that's probably looks like a reuse from Kyle Rayner. It's translucent, which it shouldn't be. The hand, I feel like the ring hand should be in this one, but I'm not entirely sure. I like this pattern for Sinestro, but I'm also looking forward to the one where he's wearing blue and black. But this is good because this is the iconic Sinestro from Sinestro Core, right? And look at his body, man. Look at the pattern that he's putting on this body. This is a unique body. This is not like this is not the one that he used for the Sinestro Core Batman. This is completely new. The pattern is completely new. This is new. The emblem for the Sinestro Core is not painted. This is raised. And then let's look back on the face, or look at the face in this one. Look at that. Look at those eyes. Right? Very, very nice sculpture on the face. Very hard features. You have the elf ears, the pointed ears, and everything. And again, I'm lucky that I'm not getting any kind of paint defects on the face, because that is just money, right? So any figures like this, I feel like if you're going to be using book bodies, just like what Hasbro does a lot, then you want to concentrate on the face. Make sure that the face is successful, because everything else falls afterwards, right? But even with this figure, he doesn't disappoint, because the texture on this suit is incredible, and he's never done that before, right? So McFarlane does reuse book bodies, but he comes up with more patterns for these new bodies, more so than Hasbro. Hasbro, I think, has only like a handful of book bodies that they keep on reusing, and they just paint apps and like. Anyway, but these pattern in the cloth has also raised edges. Yeah, so basic articulation again goes up like so, down. The good thing about having the head go up like that and the torso going backwards, so if you have a figure in a flying pose, that looks pretty cool, right? Yeah, it looks like the guy is flying. So again, has a lot of range and movement on the shoulder because of the way he's done the design. Bicep cut, double jointed. These are the only hands he has, a closed-fisted hand and one that's capable of holding the lantern. Twist, rubbery trunks, double jointed knees. There's no twist, barely any twist on the thigh. That's all it is with McFarlane. Up and down on the feet and ankle articulation. If you guys notice, in comparing to Firestorm, his feet are actually smaller, way smaller. It's one of the things I noticed when I was standing him up. It's like he's got really small feet. But hey, he's an alien, whatever, right? The other thing I noticed too is the muscle design for this bicep. And I've been comparing it with the Hawkman. I feel like this is inside out. I feel like the bicep, whatever this muscle is for the bicep or for the arm, this bigger muscle should be on the outside and the smaller muscle group should be on the inside. Like if you're looking at like this way, I don't know, I feel like this one should be the smaller one, this one should be the bigger one. It just looks weird to me. Yeah, look at that. But I don't know. Maybe if I have the energy to look up my anatomy books, and I'll figure it out. But it just feels off, and I'm kind of sad that we can't put it goes down to the side, but it's not like completely side. Compared to, look at Hawkman over here. Look at how much that thing goes on the side. I love that. I love that we're able to do that with Hawkman. So I think the difference between the two, why Hawkman is able to do that, even Firestorm he's able to do it, but kind of better than Sinestro, I suppose. But look at how outside the shoulder is for Firestorm compared to Sinestro's and Hawkman, right? So 1995, guys, 1995 compared to this one, compared to all this stuff from Firestorm. Let's put out that. I mean 29.95, 29.95, right? Keep that price in mind. Why? Why is? And what sucks is finally we're getting figures outside of the Batman line, outside of the Batman family, and he's putting it behind platinum level 29.95 figure. That doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense because it's not like they're unique. He already has the license, so it's not like he's paying extra licenses for it. I think he's not doing anything for portraiture. He's not paying anybody for portrait likenesses. But for some reason he's equating these two figures with their accessories as similar. I don't get it. And then you come in with the Riddler with an 8 pairs of hand. That's $19.95, $10 cheaper or 30% cheaper than this one. It's the same thing. That one's using the whole body, a whole body that's not original but has a different head sculpt. And it's a unique take on a character, and yet it's 30% cheaper than this one. I don't get it. Just because he's slapped on a platinum level, I don't get it. So, last one on the list is Hawkman. Hawkman. This is not the Hawkman that I wanted. This is not the design that I wanted for Hawkman. I wanted the classic design for Hawkman. This is Hawkman from 0 Hour. And I did not want to get this figure. Oh, it was easy not to be tempted to get this figure because I really did want the classic with the green and the reds and the shirts on Hawkman, right? So I was heavily betting on the fact that McFarlane likes to repaint these figures, that he would be able to reuse this head sculpt. Let's go into that head sculpt really quick. That is an awesome head sculpt, right? And I don't know where the pieces are that does it. Look at that chin on that guy. So this head sculpt, we're gonna twist it around. The helmet is in one piece, and it looks like the hair might be a separate piece, and then it's glued on to a lower half of the face. So the reason I'm pointing that is that he might be, if he were to reuse this body or this head, he'll be able to reuse the helm and the lower part and then just not add on the hair, right, for a classic Hawkman. And then he would have to not use this body, he'd use something else, which is an easy way, it's an easy thing to do. Just use the Blue Beetle body and everything. But the chest is completely brand new because the straps, even though it's loose over here, let's see, it's also loose, but middle part, I think it's a different part. That's just glued on. But the chest here is actually sculpted onto this one. The chest itself is brand new. The arms are brand new as far as I know. And this is a separate piece, so you can slide it off and on. But it's probably got a mold issue on this one. I feel like the forearm might be a little bit too bulky, but I'm okay. I like the fact that because he's learned from the past about his the peg system for the wrist, that it really does disappear quite nicely. It looks weird now, but at least it's not like a big bowl like it was before. So look at the articulation on that shoulder. I'm okay with that. It doesn't look natural, but the fact that it gives us that much range, I really do love it. Just a really quick thing about the wings. The wings were really, really hard to put on, but I don't like heating things up because it's not hard anyway. It's kind of like rubbery. So I was pushing it down and twisting it at the same time. And the reason why I didn't want to heat it up is because now this is really stiff. So it's not. See how loose this arm is, the shoulder. The wings are tight, and it's not gonna have any problems being droopy or anything like that. And that's what I really wanted to prevent. It comes with a mace, very rubbery, but that's okay, because it makes it easier to just put it on the hands. These are the only hands that it comes with. Like I said before, I'm not familiar. I'm not fond of this particular design for Hawkman. Zero Hour was an okay storyline, but the way they brought back Hawkman, I believe this was after they made a new origin for Hawkman where he was from the planet and he was a police officer and he was wearing armor. That didn't go well, and then Zero Hour came in, and Hawkman was basically the previous incarnations of Hawkman, including the original and the armored one, was all meshed in, and this is the design that came out of it. And that's, look at how, oh my gosh, look at how loose that shoulder is. It's basically got a mind of its own. And he's got a belt loop for the mace if you need to. And then same thing with articulation on the knee, double jointed. This again is brand new. Up and down on the ankle, and a twist as well. So how did I end up buying this one when I swore I would not support McFarlane's efforts to charge us $29.95 on this figure? Well, I really wanted Firestorm, and for $29.95 with the amount of hands that it came in and the effects, he was the only one that I actually ordered off of Amazon. $29.95. I felt like it was a fair value for what we were getting, even though I wanted Sinestro, and I did not order him. I did not order him at all. I felt like $29.95 was too high of a price, and I did not want to support that. Hawkman was an easier pass because, like I said, this is not the design that I wanted. However, a few days ago, I was watching D Hunter's review, and he mentioned that he had gotten his already from McFarlane's toy store online, and that made me think, well, let me check his website, because the cool thing about McFarlane'sstore.com, that's with a double S, McFarlane's store.com, is sometimes he'll bundle these things up and he'll give a discount for them, right? So if it was $29.95 for all three, it should have been $90. I got these three figures for $76 plus tax and shipping. Tax was around $6 and shipping was around $7. Now, if you put in the code MTN10, that's M as in Mountain Tango November 10, MTN10, it gives you a 10% discount. The 10% discount actually basically covered shipping, which was $7. So the $76 plus tax ended up being $82. Not bad. $76, you break it down to three, that's basically around $25.50 or so, because it was 76 plus change. Now for $25 and $25.50, I felt like it was a better value to get a Hawkman that I kind of wanted, that only had one mace and one of these designs I'm never going to use. I felt like for $25.50, getting a unique Sinestro with a unique head sculpt and a unique body, even though, and he does come with it in fact, even though it's not really that interesting, and the lantern, I felt like that was a fair value. So for that price, I went ahead and bought it. Why not? 75, $24 is an okay price for me to buy figures. For that, I'll support. Now, I've heard online that McFarlane is aware of the issue, and he is promising that future platinum level $29.95 figures, which I'm assuming he's not gonna go down in price. He said that he's gonna start putting more stuff in there to increase the value that we're getting for the figures, and that's good. I'm glad he's listening. So if you are listening, Todd, this is a fair value for $29.95, I feel. All right. And if you don't want to do like 10 hands, that's okay. Just all I really need is a close. All I really need for hands is maybe like grabby hands like this, these unique hands like so, kind of pointy and grabby hands, and a close fisted hands, and maybe a flying hands for flying characters. You know, it comes with these two effects as well. That's 10 hands, guys. So just give me 2 pairs of hands, a unique sculpt, maybe an extra head for $29.95, and I'm happy. You can get rid of this. I don't need that. I know that's, if you guys have seen the Toy Fair 2023 that's going on right now, he was interested in having the display factor big on these things, where he would have backdrops painted and you would have this thing on display off of the side and all that stuff. But I don't have room for that. All my space is getting very, very full to the point that I'm gonna have to start thinking whether I want it or not. So I don't have room for that. It's a nice option, but if you're gonna increase the price, don't concentrate on backdrops and these kinds of displays, which I might not be able to use. You know, I might like having that option. I might put it aside, but I'm not gonna, you know, don't increase the value, don't increase the price because of that. That does nothing for me. I'm not sure about anybody else, but for me, it doesn't do anything. So that's it for these figures from McFarlane. I hope that helped you guys out. Oh, the one that I ordered from Amazon for $29.95, obviously I had to cancel that because, you know. So basically, if I had kept the $29.95 for Firestorm and this one, then these two even dropped in prices, you know, because then that would have been $46 for 2, which is $23. I'm okay with that. So whatever it is that you have to do to justify it in your mind in terms of prices, it's up to you. You guys could have, you know, just said, well, I wanted the Sinestro and I wanted that Hawkman and I was willing to pay $29.95 for it. That's up to you. You guys, you know, it's your money. If you're happy with the figure, then go for it. You know, I just couldn't. I just could not do it for what he's getting, because now we're getting to the $30 price range, guys, and there's a lot more figures coming out. That's possible in DCU or DC universe. You know, so that's it for my review for the McFarlane figures. Thank you so much for watching and coming back to my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys found some informative stuff that would help you out. You have a nice day. Bye.